it cannot be more easy than that. This is probably one of the easiest software I've ever used to edit photo. The most simplest interface ever. Sony knows exactly what they're doing. Now, first thing first, on the top level, you have the viewer and you are in the edit. Then you have the file where you can change your preference and so on. Generally speaking, I don't really use that part, to be honest with you. That part doesn't really interest me at all. The part that interests me is the right hand side where all the edit needs to be done. Now, just a quick explanation. Then you have the zoom out, zoom in, and you can drag back and forth. You can double click it. Let's say you zoomed in as much as you want. I'm gonna just go up, and then if you double click it, it will go back immediately. Now, what else I can show you? Now, you have a couple of buttons which actually rotate back and forth about 90 degrees. You have the immediate crop. In fact, I'm just going to quickly crop it a little bit, not too much. And you can have a fixed ratio, or you can just do a custom so that you do your way how to crop it. It's totally up to you. So I'm just going to do a quick crop like that. And then I'm going to click close. So we have done a quick crop already. Now, looking at the histogram, it looks like it's a little bit underexposed, right? So we are going to fix the export with the brightness. So I'm going to click +1, and it's already nice, beautiful, and bright. Pretty amazing. Now in the white balance, and before I go to the white balance quickly, every time you have done your editing in each section, I recommend you to close it immediately so that you know you have done your edit on that department. Then move downward. Then followed by you go to the white balance. Now in the white balance, of course, is going to keep the one that you had in your camera. Obviously, this is the Sony software, so it's going to keep all the settings you had in your camera, right? Now, personally, I go to the preset and keep auto because I really trust the automatic white balance correction of Sony software. Now, white balance is something very personal. So if you want something warm, you can make it warm. If you want something cooler, you can make it cooler. It's totally up to you. And you can do that right here. You have to click color temperature and move forward to make it warmer and move backward to make it cooler. I would personally go back to the preset and keep it to automatic. But if you had a gray card inside the camera, for example, you can click the specify gray point, click this little dropper and drop it anywhere where it is pure gray or pure white, and make sure you drop it over there. I don't have it here, so I'm not going to show you, but this is something very basic and I'm sure that you know about it. And finally, in the white balance section, you have the color correction. The color correction is essentially simple. Is the tint. So you move forward, it becomes pink. You move backward, it becomes green. So essentially, if you have, let's say you are in landscape and you have too much green in the photo, you can move forward to balance the green tint. Or if you had too much, red inside the photo, you can go backward to get rid of the pink tint. So that's how you do the color correction. I'm going to click reset because I like the original look. Now, I'm going to close that one now. So that's our white balance. Then you have creative style. I'm going to click open. Now again, you have the camera setting, but if you want to change it, you have a bunch of lists to choose from. In my case, let's say I'm going to click portrait. Wonderful, isn't it? It immediately picked a color that works well with portrait, which is pretty freaking amazing. But of course, you have plenty of other. You have clear, which kind of I don't like, way too contrasty for portrait. You have the night view. Of course, this is not a night photo, but this is a very good mode if you had one. You have neutral. If you want to create your own color, you have the autumn leaves. Let's see what it gives me. I actually like the autumn leaves. Gives a really nice orange-ish look. And, many more. You have the standard. I'm going to, I don't know if I could keep it between the portrait look or autumn leaves. To be honest with you, I'm going to leave it to autumn leaves, but it's too orange for me. So I'm going to control it later. Now, you have the contrast. In the contrast, you have many sliders. A little trick, always avoid the contrast slider. Essentially, always avoid the contrast slider, highlights, shadows.